Okay, so I just came across this story about a program called GenNext in Lima, Ohio, and honestly, it made me stop and think about how we're preparing the next generation for the workforce. Let me break this down. At first glance, it's just another local internship initiative. 15 kids, summer jobs, yada yada. But wait, paid internships? Local government collaborating with nonprofits and businesses? And these teens are walking away not just with cash, but with actual career clarity. That's not just a summer job. It's a blueprint for the future. Let me explain why this matters way more than most people realize. Here's the setup. Lima's GenNext program placed 15 young adults in internships across city departments, businesses, and nonprofits this summer. They clocked over 2,400 hours, basically a full-time job for each of them. But the real story isn't the numbers. It's the ripple effect. Take Kyllan Martin, who worked with the fire department. He didn't just learn how to use a fire hose. He enrolled in a fire and EMS program afterward. Then there's Kynnsington Green, who went from maybe into science to chemistry major, after working in a water treatment lab. This isn't career prep, it's career ignition. Now let's unpack this. What makes GenNext different from the countless other youth employment initiatives? First, the paid aspect. A lot of internships for teens are unpaid, which immediately excludes lower-income kids. By paying them, Lima isn't just being nice, it's creating equity. Second, the diversity of placements. These kids aren't stuck filing papers in City Hall. They're in labs, fire stations, and local businesses. They're seeing how the real world works, not just getting a paycheck. And third, follow-through. The program has been running for 5 years, which means they're not just throwing money at a problem, they're building infrastructure. But here's where it gets really fascinating to me. The unspoken implications. Programs like this tackle two crises at once: youth unemployment and the skills gap. Let's face it, the traditional education system isn't keeping up with modern career demands. A lot of teens graduate high school with zero idea what they want to do. GenNext gives them a test drive. And when you combine that with paid experience, suddenly you're not just teaching job skills, you're building confidence. Kyllan and Kynnsington didn't just find careers. They found identity. Now, I'll admit, I'm biased here. I've always argued that vocational training and real-world exposure should be mandatory in high school. But GenNext takes it a step further by being community-driven. Local businesses invest in these kids, which creates a pipeline for talent. The fire department gets a future EMT, the water lab gets a chemistry major, the whole town benefits. This isn't charity. It's economic strategy. Yet, how many towns actually do this? Probably not enough. Most places are too busy cutting budgets to see the long game. Let's zoom out. If you're a viewer right now thinking, cool story, but so what? Ask yourself this: what happens to these kids 5 years from now? Kyllan will likely be saving lives. Kynnsington might be developing water safety protocols. And their co-workers in the program? They'll be teachers, engineers, entrepreneurs. All because a small city in Ohio decided to invest $10 an hour and some mentorship into their summer. That's the thing about opportunity. It compounds. And if we scaled this model nationally, we'd be looking at a generation that's not just employed, but purpose-driven. So here's my closing thought. Why isn't every town doing something like this? Is it a lack of funding, vision, or do we just underestimate how hungry young people are to matter? GenNext proves that when you give teens real responsibility, real pay, and real mentorship, they don't just find themselves, they build themselves into something new. And honestly, isn't that what the future needs? Alright, what do you guys think? Did you have an internship that changed your path? Drop it in the comments. Let's hear your stories.